everyone, Trevor, Model 3 Owners Club. It's September 1st. Still summer, but it kind of feels like fall where I am right now, but still a beautiful sunny day. I happen to be going somewhere today. I'll talk about that in a little bit. Just want to give you some Model 3 updates and some other news and stuff, but before I get to the Model 3 stuff, just want to remind everyone, if you're not aware, the National Drive Electric Week is happening between September 9th and 17th, and I'll put a link in the video description and take you to the website. The website is driveelectricweek.org, and on there you can click and there's a map that will show you all of the different areas that are holding events, something that you could find probably even near you. I happen to be volunteering at my local event location, and that's in Aurora, Ontario. So, and I'm going to be out there actually on September 16th, not early. I have some other things that are going on. September is a very busy month for me. Anyhow, really encourage you to come out and check it out. I mean, you can talk to owners that have EVs, other enthusiasts, of course, talk to some experts, even take some test drives. So if you've never been in an EV, it's a perfect opportunity to get a chance to try one out. Like I said, I'll be volunteering on September 16th at the Aurora, Ontario location where I live, so I encourage you to come out and say hi, and I'll be glad to talk to anybody out there and hopefully see you. So the other bit of information, if any of you follow me on Twitter and stuff, we've been talking back and forth now for some time about a potential Dashcam group buy for Model 3 Owners Club members. And it's finally happened. We just released the information this morning. I'll put a link in the video and you can check it out. But basically what we've done is we've talked to a supplier, a couple different suppliers, and we chose the best one that'll offer the best type of packages. We're looking at BlackVue, which is one of the best dash cams. I actually own one. It's right here in my Lincoln. I love it. It's a great little device. It's very unobtrusive. It'll work with any car. You don't have to have a Tesla. I happen to be moving, I'll be moving this one actually to our Tesla when the time comes. I love it so much, I'm not leaving it with this lease, that's for sure. Anyhow, two different BlackVue models to choose from. There's the 490 2-channel and the new 750 2-channel. All the details are in the link. I encourage you to go on there. We got some really good pricing. Very special thanks to our forum member, Melinda, who organized the whole thing. Great job, Melinda. Awesome. I'm just way too busy to organize some of this stuff, so special thanks to her for that. Anyhow, let's talk about Model 3 news. Not a lot of information, but some stuff that's pretty crucial. If you haven't been paying attention, I'll give it to you right now. First bit of information, a good friend of mine, Ryan McCaffrey, who does the Ride the Lightning Tesla podcast. If you haven't listened to his podcast, I urge you to subscribe. It's really good. I was on an episode with him when I was down in San Francisco. We had a blast. Anyhow, Ryan was able to get some information out of Elon through some tweets. He was specifically asking about the performance edition of a Model 3, and Elon confirmed that they were definitely going to do something like that sometime next summer. Probably, yeah, sometime next summer. And just yesterday, Ryan tweeted out to Elon again to try to find out about the smart air suspension situation, because if you remember at the reveal event last year, the CAD drawing that was behind Elon clearly showed that there was, air suspension on the car. And Elon finally confirmed that the air suspension will happen around the same time that all-wheel drive will be available. He said linked. Now, I don't know what linked means, whether it means that you have to get it as part of all-wheel drive, or he just means linked as far as availability is concerned. So anyways, really good news for those of you who are looking for that. But again, if you're looking for first production, you're just going to have to wait a little bit, because they're still ramping up production on the Model 3. Now, speaking of which, some time ago, I did a little informal survey on our forum and on Twitter asking about what the Model 3 configurator, or estimator I should say, was showing for people around the world, just to get a gauge on where things were standing. And universally it shows that anyone in the US was able to click on their estimation and see exactly where Tesla was kind of estimating where their car would probably arrive. Now, however, for the rest of the world, including me, because I'm in Canada, was showing universally late 2018. So to me, that basically means that we're still looking at a placeholder until Tesla really gets a handle on production. Now, keep in mind, Tesla has said the initial production run was going to be about 30 cars in July. Of course, they made 50. He said it was going to be somewhere around 100 cars for August. Now, before you ask, we don't have any information as to how many cars they actually produced in August. This is not something Tesla likes to talk about. They don't, every week go, yay, we did this, and yay, we did that. They did that initially for the Model S, but now they've got a few years under their belt. They don't tend to be quite so rah-rah about things anymore. So as far as production numbers are concerned, we'll find out more about that most likely in the third quarter. Second quarter? Third quarter, sorry. My mind is all... third quarter financial call somewhere around probably the first week of October, which hopefully should include some of the September production, which Elon had originally slated was going to be over 1,500 cars. Now, the reason I mention this is because one of our forum members, and we got I got another private indicator over Twitter too, that Tesla has been very quietly giving Tesla employees the ability to do test drives on the Model 3. This is quiet. They're not really talking about it and stuff, but it's starting to sneak out a little bit. In addition to that some of our members have been getting emails, not members, Tesla employees have been getting emails telling them that they can expect their car somewhere around the end of September. So that means that they're about ready to really start cranking things up. I also had a source. Now, this is third-party information, so I can't confirm it or anything, and I don't want to make a big deal about it and stuff, but it kind of coincides a little bit because I was told that most of the Model 3s that have been made in September, maybe somewhere throughout August, have been made mostly by hand on the production lines, but without a lot of the automation. And I was told that they're looking at turning on the dreadnought, so to speak, somewhere around September 5th, which is just after the Labor Day long weekend. So we'll see. Like I said, I can't corroborate any of that stuff. It's just anecdotal evidence. Wouldn't hold a candle to it. But the fact that they're sending out emails to employees saying that the cars will be ready by the end of September leads me to believe that they're really going to start cranking things up. So that's some good news. However, what does that mean for the rest of us? For me, as you know, first day reservation holder, going out camping out in the morning, putting my $1,000 down, really hoping for a Model 3. I'm in a bit of a pickle. Well, not a pickle, but those of you who know, I'm driving a leased Lincoln right now, and I timed my lease specifically to end in April of 2018, thinking that Tesla was going to be late. They're usually always late with their cars. They said that they were going to start production in early 2017. I said, no, I really got to give them at least 6 months to 9 months to get their stuff in order. Anyhow, so the production looks like, we don't know what's going to happen. If it's true that we're looking at late 2018, that leaves me without a vehicle. And I run a business, and I need a vehicle to get around. My wife has her car, but sometimes she uses it, so I can't be 100% reliant on using my wife's car. So what that means for me is I need to make a decision in the springtime or towards the end of this year as to which direction I'm going to take. Am I going to keep my Model 3 reservation, or am I going to hop into a Model S or even possibly a Model X? The finances are looking better and better every day, putting money away, saving money. I have been saving money for the last 4 years, so it's looking likely that I may not have to wait. I may just jump into a Model S or maybe in a Model X. It depends. There's a couple other things too. So those of you who don't know, in Ontario we have some very good rebates for EVs, and the Model 3 and the Model S and the Model X all qualify for the full $14,000 Ontario rebate. However, there are two other little bits that our Ontario government has put into public notice as to some extra incentives, so to speak. Now, they haven't been ratified yet. They're still talking about making it happen. Both of these are by the end of 2017, going into 2018. So the first one is 4 years of free home charging for your car. I don't expect that to be metered. It would probably be something around maybe like a rebate, a yearly rebate or something like that for the power consumption of the off-peak hours. So Again, that hasn't been ratified yet. We don't have any information. They're typically quiet about that kind of thing until they're ready to talk about it. That ties me into something else. I'll talk about that here in a second. The other part, which is the more important one, is the government's been talking about the possibility of eliminating our sales tax, our provincial sales tax specifically, for brand new EV purchases. Now, our provincial sales tax is 13%. So any EV you buy, you got to pay a tax on top of that. So on a Model 3 or any EV for that matter, or even a Model S or Model X, you know, which really get into, you know, 6-digit numbers on those high-end cars for us, that's some significant savings. So the timing might work out for me where, you know, if I wait long enough and if this legislation actually passes, that I could see some significant savings, so that I might be able to get into something a little bit bigger. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking, oh, what are you talking about? I mean, you're the Model 3 guy, you know, you got a reservation, why would you bail? I'm not specifically bailing. What I'm saying here is that I would keep my Model 3 reservation, but I would have the opportunity to get into something maybe a little bit bigger or something. I have a special place in my heart for the Model S. I always have. I followed the program right from its inception all the way through. Same thing with the Model X. I really like the tech on the Model X. In some ways, the little bit bigger vehicle in terms of interior cargo space is something that I really like. So I'm at a dilemma here. I would really have the Model 3. If it was available, I would grab one today. No problem. Here you go. I'll take it. However, for us in some ways, the delays, if you want to call it that, not a delay, but you know, the kind of the timing that they're talking about bringing this car out is actually advantageous. So if this tax abatement actually does happen and the Model 3 does become available, it just means, you know, you get a cheaper car. But in the meantime, savings keep growing, investments keep growing. It just means that I might be able to get into a Model S or a Model X at around the same time as to when I return my lease and see what's happening. And I've been keeping a close eye on the inventory car situation too, because you know, this lease has to go back in April. So if I have to take it back, you know, and I want something new to coincide, I have to make a decision. Probably, if I buy a new car, it has to be about 2 months, because that's how long it takes to produce a new one, or somewhere in the vicinity of about 2 to 3 weeks if I decide to get an inventory car, because they got to prep it and all the usual stuff. So anyhow, I'm keeping an eye on it. You know, fear not, folks. I'm still on to the Model 3. Nothing will change. The information will still come out. I'm still very stoked about the car. It's just my personal circumstance, and I know some of you out there are the same way too. They've decided not to wait and jumped in. That's all great. A Tesla is still a Tesla. Good for you. But either way, nothing's going to change. Still on board with the Model 3. Still going to run things. Still going to keep doing the videos and the shows and stuff. So fear not. So the other part that ties into this is a friend of mine, Nick, who's on Twitter, has a referral code. Now, I don't typically like to give out referral codes because, let's say I said I don't have a Tesla. If I had one, I would put it in the show description, but I don't. But Nick made me a really special offer. He just needs 2 more referrals and to get to his next level. And he's told me that he would graciously donate a set of Arachnid wheels. Now, those are the really special 21-inch wheels that are only available to referral owners, winners. That he would give the set to me, which I thought was really cool. So if we do end up getting a Model S or a Model X, I will get those wheels, and that would be really cool. So thanks for that, Nick. So anyhow, for this one time, if any of you are looking at buying a Model S or a Model X, I would encourage you, please try and use Nick's code, because it gives me a chance to get these set of wheels, which would be really cool. Anyhow, so if you want his code, I'll put it in the show description at the bottom. And yeah, help him out, helps everybody out. Thanks, Nick. Now, a few minutes ago when I was talking about the second part of the incentives, about the 4 years of free charging, I just found a link on Facebook. One of our members posted something. Now, I live in the York region of Toronto, and we have a power utility called PowerStream. They've just changed their name, and I forget what it's called. But anyways, there's a link, and it's actually called the Advantage Power Pricing Program. And I'll put a link in the video description if you want to check it out. If you're in the York region and you're with PowerStream, you might want to check this out. They have a special programming rate right now that will give you a lower kilowatt hour rate, down to 2 cents per kilowatt hour on the off-peak rates times between 12 a.m. and 6 a.m. or 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. If you own an EV. Now, they did say that their on-peak rates are somewhat higher to compensate for some of the discounts. So, you know, how much you save, I don't know. But I thought I'd put that out there for those of you who are looking at this. You have to sign up. They're doing a phase 1 right now, which goes until, I think, the end of this year. And then the second phase kicks in January. And it runs throughout 2018. So if you're interested in that, check it out at powerstream.ca and do a search for Advantage Power Pricing. All right, that's for most of the Tesla news today, but I thought I would take just a few minutes here and just talk about something else that's been on my mind. It's not a rant. This is some personal information. Now, if you don't want to hear this, I understand completely. Just turn off the video and move on. But I thought I'd just throw something out there. Now, I know most of you know that I don't really talk about my personal life and stuff because, frankly, you know, it doesn't really matter to anybody. But in a lot of ways, I see my audience out there and the Twitter followers and all the YouTube subscribers as part of family. Like, I've met a lot of you, you know, through different social events and, you know, at the Tesla events and stuff. And everyone has been really, really nice. And I really appreciate everybody who watches the videos. You know, I see you as friends and stuff. So I thought I'd share a little bit of something that happened recently. Now, for those of you who subscribe to the YouTube channel, know that a couple of months ago, I think it was, I did a video with my dad. He's a real car guy. That's where I get my car enthusiasm from. Been around cars my whole life. And so if you watch that video, really appreciate it. My dad's a quiet guy. He doesn't like a lot of attention and stuff, and getting him on camera was an interesting feat and stuff, but he was very gracious about the whole thing. So the reason I mention that is because I always wanted to do a video segment where I take my dad for a ride in a Tesla. I was thinking maybe calling the local Tesla shop and arranging for him to take a test drive on a Model X. You know, has a couple bad hips and stuff, so getting into a sedan's a little tougher for him. But a Model X I thought would be really cool. He'd probably appreciate the technology and the acceleration stuff. Unfortunately, it looks like that's not going to happen. Last week, my dad suffered a heart attack. And it wasn't a major heart attack, it was a minor one, but he's had, you know, a couple other episodes since then and stuff. So he went to the hospital and had a whole checkup done. And the news is not good. Turns out he had some blockages and stuff. So he has to go in for some major heart surgery. He has to go for open heart surgery to get bypasses and stuff. So that's where I'm heading today. I'm going to the hospital to see him before he goes into surgery this afternoon. So it's been a little tough week. You know, we're pretty positive that things are going to work out okay and stuff, but, you know, part of me is thinking, you know, what if? So, yeah, it hasn't really hit me yet. So I just wanted to lay that out. And, you know, if something, God forbid, anything happens and I'm quiet for a little while, maybe you'll understand. Hoping, you know, like I said, we're positive about the whole thing. You know, this kind of surgery, even though it's routine stuff, still has risks. So, yeah, you know, if you can send some positive vibes, that's really cool. I'm not looking for sympathy or anything like that. I just wanted to put that out there, just so you know what's going on. If you care to donate to the Heart and Stroke Foundation, hey, every little bit helps for those people to fight heart disease and all the other stuff. On a more positive note, because of this information, you know, I just had a physical this week and everything's good, but I certainly told the doctor about my dad's situation and stuff, and so, you know, I'm not getting any younger. So certainly keep an eye on things and stuff. My dad, fortunately, is in good spirits, and he's starting to change his diet a little bit. Not that it was bad or anything, it's just now you got to be extra careful and stuff. So anyhow, Still hoping to make that clip someday. That was really good. So I'm trying to stay positive about that. Anyhow, didn't mean to throw that out there and depress anyone. That's not the intent, just to keep you informed. Okay, so I got another hour drive ahead of me, so I'll just cut it off right here. Thanks for watching, folks. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at the handles at Model 3 Owners. Check out the forum at model3ownersclub.com. And really appreciate it if you take a look at our Patreon page. You know, we've got some really great supporters out there. Every little bit of support helps, keeps the channel going and stuff. And you can find that at patreon.com/Model3ownersclub. Oh, one last little bit. I just put some new bags on the shop, and they fit perfectly in the Model 3 front. So for those of you who are looking for a weekender bag that's embroidered with the Model 3 logo and stuff, and they're not very expensive, so check them out. Anyhow, that's it for today. Catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.